What's up, everybody? In this video, as of Season 11 of Apex, we're going to cover all of the weapons in the game, any tips and tricks I think will help you with these guns, as well as letting you know any guns that may have pay-to-win skins. We're going to put chapters in this video so that you can review it at your leisure and reference back to it as you pick up more and more guns or you want to get familiar with other weapons. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more. We're going to do a lot more of these guides. We have a lot more things planned. I hope you guys enjoy. First gun you want to be familiar with is the Sentinel. Sentinel has really good iron sights. The trick with the Sentinel is to remember that this gun is closer to hit scan, meaning the bullet velocity and where you're shooting are very, very in tune with each other. There is a small delay, but much less than other weapons. Next gun you want to get familiar with is the Longbow. Great iron sights on the Longbow. Tricks of Longbow is to remember that it has fast fire rate. So really fire that thing pretty quickly. Not quite as fast bullets as the Sentinel, so you will have to lead your shots. Charge rifle. Charge rifle has okay iron sights. It's pretty good. 100% accuracy from the hip, so remember that. Even though the charge rifle has fantastic distance you can get out of it, it is literally a hit scan gun. You probably want to stay away from the really long shots. It's just kind of pointless. But that's personal preference. Some people like to annoy people with the charge rifle, so feel free. RE45 is a gun that you'll also want to get familiar with. The RE45 is kind of deceiving. Don't count this gun out. A lot of people think the RE45 is garbage. This has a lot of damage per magazine. Iron sights are pretty clean. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty good with a 2x optic even. Don't count this gun out. P2020 is another great gun. The optics are a little goofy when you're firing. The trick to remember with the P20 is that it has a very, very fast fire rate, and it would behoove you to get used to this fast fire rate. You're gonna benefit from shooting this thing very, very fast and capping it out if you can. The 301 is tried and true. I don't really need to cover a lot about this. It doesn't really have recoil. You don't really have to worry about anything really. This is good with 1x iron sights, 3x, 4x, whatever you're comfortable with. This gun will pretty much do it. The only thing that I would caution you is to remember this gun's probably gonna chew your light ammo. The R99. R99 is a fantastic gun. Very, very, very satisfying. A little difficult to use if you don't have a magazine because it fires so fast. This gun is really going to destroy your light ammo. The only thing you really have to remember with the R99 is to pull down. It doesn't have a lot of wobble, especially with attachments. The R99, however, does have pay-to-win skins. So the normal R99 iron sights is like a half crescent moon upside down, and the good ones have this nice open square. So do look that up. You will want the pay-to-win iron sights on these for sure. The gun everybody's been waiting for is the CAR SMG. The CAR is fantastic. The cool thing about the CAR is I can put heavy mags or light mags, and I can use heavy ammo or light ammo. So the trick with this gun is to make sure that you're using something that complements your team. If your team is running heavy guns, maybe you should run light. If your team is running light guns, you should run heavy. Please think like that. Otherwise, you're just going to take supplies from your squad for no good reason. I can put heavy ammo in this gun with the light mag, so that's one thing to keep in mind. This gun is fantastic recoil control. It wobbles and kicks a little bit hard, but once you get adjusted to it, this thing is fantastic. And as far as I know, no pay-to-win sights on it. Rampage. Rampage has fantastic iron sights all around. There's no pay-to-win. The one thing that you should remember with the Rampage, this is a very good tip for you to remember. Tap fire the Rampage. If you do not like the Rampage a whole lot, tap fire it. The tap firing, for whatever reason, makes this gun feel fantastic, especially when it's charged. 30-30 repeater, pretty clean iron sights. I don't believe there's a pay-to-win iron sights. The trick that I'll tell you with the 30-30 repeater is similar to the Longbow. There's bullet travel, bullet drop. Keep that in mind. You're going to have to lead your shots at a certain distance. If you want to do the maximum damage, this gun actually charges up and will do the maximum damage. If you don't let it charge, it does a fair amount less damage. That's it. Wingman. Wingman does have pay to win skins. Any variation of the ray gun you see here are the cleanest sights you can get. Just less stuff in your screen blocking your view. Wingman iron sights are not fantastic though. This red is a little transparent. It can be hard to track targets. You may benefit from colorblind mode if it bothers you. Other than that, the Wingman's not fantastic for long range. There's a lot of bullet drop, a lot of bullet travel. Just keep that in mind. The Prowler. The Prowler, as far as I know, does not have pay to win sights. There is a trick with the Prowler. So most people, especially on mouse and key, are going to be aiming very high for the upper chest or head. That doesn't work with burst fire guns. So aim low towards the groin. You're going to get those nice big bursts that you're looking for. The hip fire on the Prowler is fantastic. So don't sleep on the hip fire. Use it. Hemlock. Hemlock is similar to the Prowler. You don't want to aim high. Otherwise, it'll walk away. You want to try to aim low. The only trick with the Hemlock is it has a single fire mode. If you toggle the fire mode, the single fire mode is really probably what you want to use for long range because it's pinpoint accurate and it shoots very, very fast. So cap out that fire rate, pinpoint accuracy. Flatline. Flatline does have pay to win skins, but I believe it was in the season 2 battle pass. I would basically buy whatever one you think looks good. You can jitter aim with the Flatline. Flatline benefits greatly from jitter aiming. If you don't know what that is, go check out my aiming video, Mastering Aim. The one thing I will caution you about the Flatline, it benefits tremendously from a magazine of any sort. White Mag gives it 5 extra bullets. That's huge on the Flatline. Volt. Volt is a great gun. Volt does not have pay to win skins. There are some that are more annoying. So this skin, for example, when I kill people, makes a very obnoxious noise. But other than that, nothing is pay to win. There's no real trick with the Volt. Energy weapons have faster bullet velocity than I think any other type of gun. So do keep in mind, these are pretty good for range if you can control the recoil. Worth getting used to. Triple Take is an obnoxiously goofy gun. I don't really like it. I don't believe it has pay to win sights. It does have a choke. So if you wait for the optics there to close all the way, your bullets will be less spread and be more of like a single bullet than if you just don't let it spread and you just fire. So it lowers your bullet spread and is worth waiting for if you're doing long distance shots, or you can just turn that off. Devotion. I don't believe Devotion has pay to win sights. The trick with the Devotion is that it has a tremendous amount of kick in the first couple bullets. After that, it doesn't move a whole lot. So it doesn't take a massive amount of skill to use once it gets up and going. Turbocharger benefits this greatly though. Havoc. Havoc is easy to use. It has quite a bit of recoil if you don't have the turbo on it. Great for long range with the turbo though. This thing is basically a laser beam once you put the turbocharger on it. It is worth learning the Havoc with the turbo in case you have the option of using it at some point. L-Star. L-Star does not have pay to win sights. L-Star was recently nerfed for season 11, so the bullets are smaller than they used to be. However, it's still a pretty easy gun to use. Fair amount of recoil, but most people can control it pretty easily. Great for long range. This is a gun you want to use for long range, but you can always hip fire in a pinch. The hip fire is incredibly accurate. The bow is a very fun gun. The only trick that you need to know with the bow is it does more damage if you let the arm pull all the way back and go through that animation. Other than that, this thing has great bullet velocity, very little drop, is good long range and close range, and the hip fire is actually pinpoint accurate, as you can see there. Mozambique is actually underrated. Mozambique is ridiculously good. The only trick that you'll want to do with the Mozambique, make sure you actually aim down sight. If you don't aim down sight, the bullet spread's pretty brutal, and it's not going to do as much damage as you're hoping for. But if you aim down sight and you put that right on somebody's upper chest, it does so much damage from so far away. It's basically a wingman. Peacekeeper just got a buff. Peacekeeper actually does have pay to win skins, so the iron sights are a little cleaner here, easier to see, easier to track a target. So you will want to look up the pay to win skins on this. Other than that, Peacekeeper is now easier to use. The bullets are bigger and it will be a lot more consistent. The choke down lowers the recoil spread on the Peacekeeper, so it makes the recoil pattern tighter, the bullet spread pattern tighter. Other than that, Peacekeeper is now very friendly to use, actually. Mastiff does not have pay to win skin. The only trick I could tell you with the Mastiff is to make sure you're aiming down sight so that it tightens up the pattern, the bullet spread pattern. If you're going to hip fire this gun, make sure you're very close because the bullets spread pretty wide when you're not ADS. And you're not going to do a tremendous amount of damage. You're going to wonder why. EVA 8. EVA 8's a very unique gun. It does not benefit from aiming down sight at all. The recoil pattern and bullet spread does not change whether you're aiming down sight or just hip firing it. It doesn't matter. So always hip fire this gun so that you can stay mobile and moving and harder to hit. It literally does not matter. The Scout. Now that the Scout is in the care package, you don't have to worry about iron sights or anything like that. It comes with double tap. So what that means is when I pull the trigger, it's going to shoot 2 bullets. Same trick applies for the Prowler and the Hemlock as it does to the Scout. I don't want to be too high because the second bullet's going to walk over his head. I need to try to give it a little bit of room to allow some walking. So you may want to be aimed towards like the stomach or so. And that will let it walk up safely while still landing both bullets and doing maximum amount of damage. That's the best way to use a Scout. Alternator. Alternator strips armor faster than base health. So when they have armor, it does more damage. Alternator is great. It actually works really well with the 2 times. It has almost no recoil. So whatever you like. Honestly, this is something you pick up to replace your shotgun with, your sidearm. But there's really no tips I can give you about this gun. Just shoot, point and shoot. It's great. It's fantastic. Spitfire. Spitfire is, everybody knows and everybody loves it. Easy to use. There's literally no recoil on the Spitfire. All I got to do is just aim and pull the trigger. The mags are huge. This gun is insane, really. I mean, this gun is fantastic. So this would replace your assault rifle if you found it in the care package. And just point and click, really. Kraber. Kraber is a gun that you can't practice anywhere but in game. I never, ever zoom the Kraber. I always use the 6 times. I do not like the 10 times. Everybody could probably hit the easy standing still shots. There is no way for you to easily practice tracking in the game and leading your shots in the firing range. So that's something you're going to have to get used to and practice in game. Maybe track these targets and try to hit a small square. It's really the only option you have. You will have to lead your shots. There is bullet drop. The bullets are not lightning fast. They do have to travel. Kraber's just going to take some getting used to, but always go for the headshot if you can, of course. It's a 1 headshot down.